Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about that unbelievable qualifying in Baku. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on X at James's Pit Lane, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. Now normally it takes an hour for qualifying to complete. Sometimes it takes just over an hour to get it done because of some incidents on the track, but not in Azerbaijan. It took 2 hours to get qualifying done. There was so much going on. There were so many yellow flags, so many red flags as well. So a lot of disruption. And well, we've got such a mixed up grid for the Grand Prix as well. Max Verstappen starts on pole. Carlos Sainz is in P2. Liam Lawson is in P3. The McLaren's nowhere near the front. So yeah, an unbelievable grid for the Grand Prix tomorrow. But how did it end up becoming so mixed up? Well, let's look at what happened in Q3. At the start of it, you had Carlos Sainz, Liam Lawson, Isaac Hadjar able to put lap times on the board, but no one else was able to, and that was because Charles Leclerc crashed into the barriers, and that brought out the red flag. And we heard drivers saying on the radio just before the red flag that there was rain about, and we saw during the red flag that rain was falling, but as the session got underway again, the rain seemed to go away. But still, no one else was able to get a time on the board, because soon after the restart, Oscar Piastri hit the barriers, which was surprising. We don't see him really ever make mistakes, but yeah, he hit the barrier. And then when it restarted, there were only around 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. So really, you had to do a fast out lap and just get a lap on the board. And Lando Norris was first out there. He wanted to get a lap time in, but there was rain about at the restart. We saw it on the cameras. The track looked a bit slippery and Lando struggled to get a good lap time, and we saw him in the middle sector hit the wall quite hard. He got away with it, but it certainly lost him time, and as a result Norris was only able to go 7th fastest. So you've got the McLaren's P7 and P9 for the Grand Prix tomorrow. Meanwhile, Verstappen did a Verstappen and put it on pole right at the end. Sainz's lap time was good enough for P2 and Lawson was able to be in P3. So what did Sainz have to say about qualifying in P2? Well, speaking after qualifying, he said, "Very happy, honestly. We've nailed the qualifying today. Every time being on the right tyre on the right time and putting together some very strong laps. Obviously, the moment a top car was going to put a lap together, we were always going to be those 4 or 5 tenths behind like we always are. But it was only one of them. Max, not surprised. For the rest, we managed to beat them and are in P2, which is great news." And speaking about his qualifying, Lawson said, "Honestly, I can't even remember what happened. It was so busy. I said it would be, but I didn't expect it to be like that. The car's been good all weekend, and when it needed to be in quali, it was good. So a massive thanks to the guys and girls. The team's been amazing this weekend so far, but obviously tomorrow is the important day." Now going back to Oscar Piastri, as I said, it was a bit out of character to see him crash. You know, we never see him make mistakes really. The last time I think we saw him make a mistake this year was at the Australian Grand Prix, the first race of the season, when he just got onto the grass and ended up spinning round. But yeah, in Baku, as I said, in Q3 he hit the wall. Basically he hit the wall at turn 3. It looked like he was just a bit late on the brakes, couldn't make the corner, and yeah, just as a result went into the wall, and it was quite a big impact. Now Piastri got out the car and he was okay, and speaking to Sky Sports F1 after crashing out, Piastri said, "I think I just braked a little bit late. I've not seen any data, but that's normally what happens when you end up locking a brake. It's a bit late. Disappointing, obviously. I felt like the car was in a good place, but disappointing way to end. The first 2 corners were really good. And then I don't know if I tried a bit too much or because the rain has been around. There were some corners on the outlap that felt a bit tricky, but I don't know if that was one of them. Ultimately, I need to go and have a look, but I think it's just a case of trying a little bit too hard and paying the price." Now Piastri will be disappointed about this, there's no doubt about it, but at the same time, I think he's very lucky and one of the big winners of qualifying, and that's because his teammate Norris wasn't able to take advantage of the opportunity he had been given. I mean, with Piastri out, Norris had a big chance to put the car in the top 3 at least, given we know how good the McLaren is. But on the lap that mattered, Norris just could not deliver a good time, and as a result he starts in P7, just a couple of places ahead of Piastri. Now interestingly, both Piastri and Norris are on the verge of a huge penalty. Basically, as we know, drivers are allowed to use 4 turbochargers, ICEs, MGUHs and MGUKs across the season, and both Norris and Piastri have used 4 of each of those elements already, according to a document released in Baku. And if you exceed those 4, you're going to get a 10-place grid penalty. Now obviously when you're on the verge of something like that, crashing in Q3 like Piastri did, that's not something you want to do. But at the same time, I think his car will be fine for tomorrow, and I don't think Norris is going to be taking anything either. So they're set to start in their qualifying positions for tomorrow. What do you think will happen in the Grand Prix tomorrow? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care